Hello students, today's discussion topic is footloose industries, then classification of manufacturing industries, etc. And first topic is footloose industries. Footloose industries can be located in a wide variety of places. That means footloose industries are those industries which can be located any specific region or any specific place, and they are not dependent on any specific factor such as raw materials or weight losing raw materials, etc. They largely dependent on component parts which can be obtained anywhere, okay, and they produce a small quantity and also employ a small labor force. And footloose industries mainly dependent on technology, and they are not polluting industries, and the important factor in their location is accessibility by road network. तो footloose industry কথা গম পালো, এটো এক্সামত আহিব পাৰে শর্ট নোট লিখিবলৈ। তো ই কোনো স্পেসিফিক ফ্যাক্টৰৰ ওপৰত ডিপেন্ডেন্ট নহয়, বাট ই কিহৰ ওপৰত ডিপেন্ডেন্ট হয়, টেকনলজি আৰু ৰোড নেটৱৰ্ক দুটাৰ ওপৰত বেছ কৰে, আৰু ই যিখিনি পাৰ্টছখিনিৰ ওপৰত বেছ কৰিব, কম্পনেণ্ট পাৰ্টছখিনিৰ ওপৰত, অ'কে। তো এনি স্পেচিফিক ৰিজনত ই ফ্ৰম মানে ছেট আপ হ'ব পাৰে, অ'কে। তো এইটো লিখিব আহিব পাৰে। দেন নেক্সট টপিক ইজ classification of manufacturing industries. Manufacturing industries are classified on the basis of their size, inputs, raw materials, output products, and ownership. And first one is industries based on size. The amount of capital investment, the number of employment engaged, and volume of production determine the size of the industry. According to industry's size may be classified into household or cottage industry. Second one is small scale industry, and third one is large scale industry. First one is household or cottage industry. It is the smallest manufacturing unit. The artisan use local raw materials and simple tools to produce everyday goods in their homes with the help of their family members or part-time labor. Finished products may be for consumption in the same household or for sale local blaze markets, or for barter and capital and transportation do not wield much influence, as this type of manufacturing has low commercial significance and most of the tools are devised locally. That means cottage industry are the small unit or smallest manufacturing unit, and where the products are manufactured by hand by the artisans with the help of family member and part-time labor, and the production may be consumed the same household or maybe sell in the local blaze market. And household industry mainly not dependent on transportation system, raw materials, capital investment, etc. And household industries and cottage industries example are like basket weaving and pottery and handicraft industry, etc. Second one is small scale manufacturing. Small scale manufacturing is distinguished from household industries by its production techniques and place of manufacture, a workshop outside the home cottage of the producer. This type of manufacturing uses local raw materials, simple power driven machines, and semi-skilled labor. It provides employment and raises local purchasing power. Therefore, countries like India, China, Indonesia, Brazil, etc. have developed labor-intensive small-scale manufacturing in order to provide employment to their population. That means small-scale industries are those industries or those manufacturing unit where use local raw materials, then simple power driven machines and semi-skilled labor. And small scale industry mainly set up outside the household or outside the cottage, and the production is mainly low, and they sell in the local village markets and local markets. And in India, on an industry, if the capital investment is less than 1 crore, then it is called small scale industry. For example of small scale industries, small tea industry, small food processing industry, etc. And next one is large scale manufacturing. Large scale manufacturing involves a large market, various raw materials, enormous energy, specialized worker, advanced technology, assembly line, mass production, and less capital. This kind of manufacturing developed in last 200 years in United Kingdom, Northeastern USA, and Europe. Now it has diffused to almost all over the world. That means large scale manufacturing mainly involve a large market, various raw materials, then enormous energy, specialized worker, technology, advanced technology, less capital investment, and this type of industry mainly developed last 200 years ago. Okay. And in India, on an industry, if the capital investment is more than 1 crore, then it is called large scale manufacturing unit or large scale industry. For example, iron and steel industry, automobile industry, etc. And next, the large scale industry can be divided into two types on the basis of their system. First one is traditional large scale industry, second one is high technology large scale industry. Okay, large scale industry mainly divided into two types on the basis of their system. Okay, traditional large scale industry and high technology industry. And next one is agro-based industries based on raw materials. On the basis of raw material used, the industries are classified as agro-based, mineral-based, chemical-based, forest-based, and animal-based. Okay, first one is agro-based. Agro-processing involves the processing of raw materials from the field and farm into finished products for rural and urban markets. Major agro-processing industries are food processing, sugar, then pickles, fruit, juice, beverages, tea and coffee and cocoa, and then spices, then oils and fats and textile, cotton and jute and silk and rubber, etc. That means agro-processing or agro-based industry are mainly use agricultural products as a raw materials. For example, cotton textile industry and food processing industries. Food processing industries. Agro-processing include canning, producing cream, fruit processing, and confectionery. Then, while some preserving techniques such as drying, fermenting, then pickling have been known since ancient times, these had limited applications to cater to the pre-industrial revolution demands. And next one is mineral-based industry. And mineral-based industries use mineral as a raw materials. That means raw mineral as a raw materials. For example, iron ore, then other minerals such as aluminum, copper, etc. And some industries use ferrous metallic minerals which contain ferrous iron, such as iron and steel industry. But some use non-ferrous metallic minerals such as aluminium, copper, then and jewelry industries, etc. Many industries use non-metallic minerals such as cement and pottery industry. That means mineral-based industry mainly use raw mineral as a raw materials. For example, iron and steel industry, cement industry, etc. And next one is chemical-based industry. Such industries use natural chemicals, minerals, then mineral oils, petroleum use in petrochemical industry. Salt, sulfur, and potash industries also use natural minerals. Chemical industries are also based on raw materials obtained from wood and coal. Synthetic fiber, plastic, etc. are some examples of the chemical-based industry. That means chemical-based industries mainly use natural chemicals as a raw materials, and also they use wood, coal as a raw materials. For example, petrochemical industry, synthetic fiber, plastic industry, etc. And next one is forest-based industry. And forest-based raw materials using industries, the forest providing many major and minor products which are used as a raw materials. Timber for furniture industry, wood, bamboo, and grasses for paper industry, and la for la industry, etc. That means forest-based industries are those industries which are mainly use forest products as a raw material such as wood, bamboo, grasses, and industries example like paper industry, furniture industry, la industry, etc. And next one is animal-based industries. Leather for leather industry, and wool for woolen textile and obtained from animals. Besides, ivory is also obtained from elephants' tracks. And animal-based industries are those industries which are mainly use animal products such as animal meat, skin, bone, etc. And for example, leather industry. And next one is industries based on output and products. And if you have seen some machines and tools made of iron and steel, the raw materials for such machines and tools is iron and steel, which is itself an industry. The industry whose products are used to make other goods by using them as a raw materials are basic industry. The consumer goods industries produce goods which are consumed by consumers directly. For example, industries producing breads and biscuits, tea, soap, toiletries, paper for writing, televisions, etc. are consumers good or non-basic industry. That means the industry can be divided on the basis of output products in two types. That means product যিখিনি output products, সেই output products খিনিৰ ওপৰত বেছ কৰি ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰিটো দুটা টাইপত ডিভাইড কৰে. First one is basic industry, second one is non-basic or consumer goods industry. Basic industries are those industries whose products are used to make other goods by using them as a raw materials. For example, iron and steel industry. Iron and steel industry খিনি কেলে বেসিক ইন্ডাস্ট্রি হল তাহাঁতৰ যিখিনি প্ৰডাকশ্যন আইৰণ এণ্ড ষ্টিল প্ৰডাকশ্যনখিনি আকৌ আদাৰ ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰিয়ে এজ এ ৰ মেটেৰিয়েল হিচাপে ইউজ কৰে, যিখিনি মেচিনাৰী টুলছ ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰিবোৰে ইউজ কৰে হয়নে. তো যিখিনি ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰিত মানে প্ৰডাকশ্যনখিনি আদাৰ ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰিয়ে ইউজ কৰে সেই ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰিখিনি বেচিক ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰি হয়. Second one is non-basic industry. Non-basic industries are those industries whose products are consumed by consumers directly. Directly consumer খিনি consume কৰিব পাৰে products খিনি. For example, biscuits industry, tea industry, etc. And next one is industries based on ownership. And on the basis of ownership, the industry can be divided into three types: public sector industry, private sector industry, and joint sector industry. Public sector industries are owned by and managed by governments. In India, there were a number of public sector undertaking PSUs. Socialist countries have many state-owned industries. Mixed economic have both public and private sector enterprises. And second one is private sector. And private sector industries are owned by individual investors. These are managed by private organizations. In capitalist countries, industries are generally owned by privately. Next one is joint sector. Industries are managed by joint stock companies, and sometimes the private and public sectors together establish and manage the industries. And that means public sector যিখিনি ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰি হয় ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰিখিনি গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে কণ্ট্ৰল কৰিব, গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে সেইখিনি মেনেজ কৰিব, আৰু প্ৰাইভেট ছেক্টৰখিনি প্ৰাইভেট অৰ্গেনাইজেশ্যনছখিনি বা ইণ্ডিভিজুৱেল অ'নাৰ্ছে সেইটো মেনেজ কৰিব বা সেইটো কণ্ট্ৰল কৰিব। দেন জইণ্ট ছেক্টৰ দুটা কণ্ট্ৰল কৰিব, গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট প্লাছ প্ৰাইভেট অ'নাৰশ্বিপ দুটাই তাত মিক্স মানে কম্বিনেশ্যনত সেইটো ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰি ছেটআপ কৰিব। এণ্ড নেক্সট টপিক ইজ ট্ৰেডিশ্যনেল লাৰ্জ স্কেল ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰিয়েল ৰিজন। এইটো নেক্সট ক্লাছত ডিছকাছ কৰিম। তো আজি আমি কি পালোঁ? ফাৰ্ষ্ট পালোঁ food loose industry, then industries classifications on the basis of size, on the basis of raw material use, on the basis of production or outputs, on the basis of ownership, etc. তো এইখিনি পালোঁ। এইখিনি কিবা প্ৰব্লেম থাকিলে সুধিবা। Okay, for today, thank you.